Welcome back, everyone. We are now into Game 4 between Terra Australis and Clan GG for the SE2C.com Clan of the Hill match. It is on weekly. Currently, TA is challenging GG after they took out NGen in convincing fashion last week. So it is going to be a ZVP on Steps of War. Interesting.
One of my favorite matchups for this map. It's really interesting to see. What I want to see from both players is Sanchez going with a really early kind of spawning pool into Speedling rush, and then trying to find out what Az has got to counter that. Or second of all, I'd like to see Sanchez go for 7 Roach all in and see if Az has the guts to stand up for it. As long as he doesn't go for Void Ray, because I always find that a bit one-sided. But what I'm trying to say there in both of those examples is I usually find in PvZ that Zerg actually has the upper hand to begin with in this game if they decide to do so. Like, if they want to go for early aggression, they really can establish that map control, lay down that fast expansion. So, yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts about this as a Protoss player as well?
Well, yeah, these are the two races that I play most consistently, and it's really going to come down to how much Az has been practicing on the NA ladder. Like, Az is an extremely talented Protoss player. He does train with a lot of the EG guys over on NA and was a very good big powerhouse back in the beta and early retail, but he's actually dropped off the map because I think he's just ignored FCA for a while. But it looks like he is going to come back and start being a little bit more friendly to the rest of us. But I like the fact that Sanchez is not going for any kind of fast expand build. He's going for that 14-13 opening. Does not want to throw anything away, especially since Az is the kind of person who knows how to punish Zerg players.
Yeah, I mean, that Speedling, opening is definitely one of the best standards for small maps. I mean, you can definitely dominate any kind of harassment. I've seen Protoss players before, pump out one Zealot, get their Cybercore down, get a Stalker, and then move in with a Sentry and just absolutely take out any kind of fast expansion, and then using, in the meantime, 4 gates being produced, warp gate technology, and just warping in and owning kind of expo. So it's a really, really good move there, I think, from Sanchez to not go for that XP until he's got map control.
Yeah, definitely. He's only making 2 links here. This is to chase away this probe. As just keeping his probe there, he knows that Sanchez will want to expand sometime soon, but he just wants to delay it as much as possible. I can guarantee you that there will be a pylon going down there, because Az loves delaying that as long as he can, because these 2 Zerglings will still take a while to kill it, as the Overlord down here at Az's base does see that Cybernetic core. It is a 1-gate Cyber. He has not got his second gas yet, but that probe is chased off. Oh my god, he put me in my place. Az, why did you not drop a pylon? Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually say that Az surprisingly then supply blocked for, I would say about 30 seconds of game time, which is pretty significant. So now he's actually, let me just have a look at the army size. He is still in front, but you would expect to be more in front as a Protoss player because your units are worth so much more food than the Zergs. So he's at 22 at the moment for Sanchez, and 25 food count. So that supply block actually doing a bit of damage and preventing any kind of early game push, I'm guessing. But the thing is, Az actually hasn't opted to chrono boost either his Cybernetics core, and as I say that, his gateway. So he's
oh my god, put that Zealot on hold position. Oh.
Don't let that Zergling in. Yeah. Stalker's going to go to chase that out, obviously. And we have here an engagement. Zergling has no chance, so he flees for his life, but it turns into a pile of goo. And I was expecting then Az to move out with that Zealot and Stalker, but instead he's opted to go for an expansion himself.
Yeah, definitely unorthodox compared to what I normally see from Az. Going for the 1-gate expand, I think he's just expecting that Sanchez is going to be a little bit passive now that he wants to keep that expansion up. Az is very well known for his constant pressure for Zergs, especially since the Steps of War. And I think he's going to use that to his advantage by Sanchez thinking, like, it's kind of a mind game. Az knows that people know he's an aggressive player. So Sanchez is going to prepare for that kind of thing happening. So he's going to take advantage of that and just go to as much of the econ upgrades as he can. So,
and here we have 7 Zerglings going towards the expansion. Are they going to spot it? Are they going to move in? I think they will, due to the fact that Az has no forces there to stop those Zerglings getting there. So the fast expansion is seen. But one of the things to note in StarCraft 2, as a side note, as this little bit of action takes place, Zergling's going to work on a pylon. When you have your opponent expanding, and this is for the players that might not know this, you've really got 2 options. You've got option A, which is expand yourself immediately to keep in the economy game, or B, mass up forces and get an attack onto that expansion as soon as you can. if you can actually pull off successful attack, although it's a more risky of the two strategies, you'll be able to be ahead by quite a lot and then end the game usually within a reasonable amount of time. If you go for the expansion, obviously it comes down to macro play, which you have to be worried about because Zerg is really strong.
Oh my god, Zerglings are going to get the probes. No, he does go at the front. Nice job by Az force building that ramp. He did not want these Zerglings to see any kind of the tech that's back here, even though it's only 2 more gateways. You do not want that happening, and there is now a cannon at his expansion. So really, kind of a macro game all round, but both players doing a good chance of a good job of keeping each other on their toes, constantly scouting, and the worker count is like 31 to 32. So that is perfectly even. We got a Spire going up now for Sanchez as well. Love it.
Yeah, excellent. So just wanted to cast out a bit of a side note as well. There's another caster in the SC2 scene. Yeah, his name's Benji. I'm sure you've all heard of him. He's from Engine. So just a big shout out to Benji and a big thank you for your knowledge and wisdom because he's one of the guys that actually explained to the StarCraft community quite a while ago about the expansions and the pressure there. And so you either expand yourself and attack. Anyway, so we also have a 3-gate robo build here from Az. I do like that build because, obviously can counter any kind of roach, but we don't see that going down at the moment. Oh, we see a Spire. Did you mention that before?
Yes, I did. You gotta be listening to me, man. Yeah, the Spire did go down before.
I was engaged in textual conversation on the screen here as a spectator, so apologies for that. Okay, so that means that obviously Az has to go for a Stalker heavy build. Yeah,
pretty much. His 2 options to counter this kind of Mutalisk play is... Well, actually, he's actually got more ones. A lot of people think, oh my god, he has Mutas, I have to get Stalkers, but you got a lot more options than that. You can either get some Phoenix in the play, probably not the best option for Az at the moment. You can get Blink Stalkers, you can get a couple of Sentries, you can put Cannons in your backline, or my personal favourite, keep pressure on the Zerg, because there's no way, if he's sinking so many resources into these Mutalisks, that he's going to have enough resources at home to defend any kind of your push if he does go for these probes at the backline. So that's my personal favourite.
One of the frustrating things, and I think Sanchez is doing this really well, is the Spine Crawler wall. I mean, if you can get another, say, 2 Spine Crawlers there, it makes it so difficult for any kind of ground army to get in there and actually do a sizable amount of damage. And because you've got Mutts in the tech tree, you have to go Stalker, and Spine Crawlers do an added bonus. Wow, engagement there. 1 bit of falling down. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I was saying, like a bit more harassment coming around. But those Stalkers, yeah, they actually the Spine Crawlers do bonus damage against them, so they're not so good. Bit more harassment there coming from the Mutas.
Yeah, definitely, but these Stalkers are going to shut it down fairly effectively. It's not going to do anywhere near as much as the impact that Sanchez wants it to do. So great positioning by Az here, as he is throwing down more and more gateways. But Sanchez is getting a gold expansion. I did show it on the screen before, but you were talking.
Something to note now that we do have the Mutas heading into the back of the main base, but Az already has the positioning, as you just mentioned, Unstable, of those Stalkers there. So this attack is really going to be foiled, and you really need to do a lot of economic damage and harassment with Mutalisks because they're not that tough when it comes to head-on, battles. And we do have a battle coming now. We have several Stalkers in there. Looks like there's about 7 versus the same amount, if not a little bit more, of Mutalisks. And Mutalisks, as I was saying, just aren't that good head-on, so they do usually have to flee and act more like, what do you call them, ninjas, I guess.
We do have Az pushing out near here with a very large army. He's got 101 supply. Sanchez only has 93. Most of those in Mutalisk, which will not do as much damage as he wants to from here. We do not have Blink at a research for these guys, but he's going to go to town on these Spine Crawlers. Here come the Mutalisks. They are hitting... Well. Yeah, definitely. Warp Prism, grateful use of that. Mutalisk coming in. He needs to get that Guardian Shield off. Guardian Shield really shoots down the DPS of those Mutalisks. As this, drones versus Zealots is not the optimum kind of thing I'd be doing, but that is going to be a GG for Sanchez, and Az looking very strong, so he'll go into tie this up too strong.
I can't believe we now have a tied, clan battle once again. I think it maybe fingers crossed.